Eh. No, it's my watch.
Welcome to part 2 of me getting crazy with my home renovations. Today it's moving day.
Guys, it is actually the day. Look at my studio. All packed. Super wrapped. Super wrapped. It took me, I don't know, one afternoon to do the other things of the house, and like I don't know how many days for the studio. It's insane. Got a lot of cables, all the cable trunking, all the things that I had so perfectly like routed throughout the entire studio had to be undone. It was hurting my soul, and I had everything under the table perfectly cable managed, and now it's gone. But yeah, that's life. You see here, I actually put the things that they will take, and there are a few things that I will take, which are guitars, my sentimental guitars, which is my electric guitar, then an acoustic guitar and an empty case. Then I have my server and delicate things, and then the computer, the tower, this dark base pro. Oh, I love this tower, but I want to be super careful with this, and since everything will need to be in the garage for a few days, all electronics, delicate electronics and guitars, interfaces, whatnot, I want it to stay here, and then I'll bring it myself.
Today is a big and beautiful day. After having postponed my moving already once, and that was because the renovations were just taking longer than expected since I did not expect to have to plaster, I had to set a date within their limits, and it was very uncomfortable because we were still working in the house and there was no way they could bring the things to the rooms. So we accommodated a part of the garage, and we played a beautiful Tetris game to fit all my entire existence in a car's worth of parking space. Anyways, after a much needed unwinding walk, quite focused on rolling on every piece of grass we found, it was time to get back to work. Today we are putting the final coats of paint. You can see in the corridor that there was this oil paint and we did not plaster. It's a lot more shadowy, it's a lot more weird, but in the studio in the bedroom looks fantastic because there was a plastering underneath and it looks much smoother already. But here in the corridor, look at that. It's so terrible. So it really needs some more coats. Then in this wall, see that it's like this. We did not even need to prime in here because we're going to have also something on it that's going to be really cool. This was the first moment where I started to think like, okay, that's starting to look like something, that's starting to get the feel of how the studio is going to be like. And oh my god, you can feel it's a little bit flat at the moment, everything white, but the amount of light that you get from all this plain white, it's so wonderful. I don't know, I miss sunlight a lot, and it just gives me the will to live back again. And this wall is not prime because here we're gonna put the acoustic panels. Also that wall over here, the corridor. Once we finished upstairs, we went to tackle the ground floor, all the paint everywhere, of course with the exception of the walls where we will be installing these wood panels. So it looked much nicer just halfway because these walls were still looking this kind of yellowish and they looked very much off, but yeah, big work today.
Oh, look at this poor spider.
When you have to do big painting jobs like this, it's really worth it to have a spray painting machine. The result is really nice, even though it takes a long time to mask. It's really nice when you can just paint all at once, and it goes way faster indeed. You just have to mask really accurately. And okay, I will address it. If you see me way fatter than usual, it's because that was our diet for like weeks and weeks on end. Bad.
It was time for another chapter, and we have laminates, we have hardwood, expensive, we have carpet, no way, too dirty. We came to the vinyl.
We went with the vinyl as our flooring choice because they told me it's a much more durable option as opposed to the laminate, still affordable and very resistant against scratches, especially for pet owners such as myself. And these vinyl pieces has already built in some little bit of rubber to dampen vibration and noises, so that seems like a nice choice for me to go with.
Wait, something happened to the kitchen finish, and I'm not happy about it.
A few hours later, we went in the kitchen and we look up and we see this weird thing. The paint had a weird reaction that looked in some parts like a peeling snake and in some others like tiny dust mites were throwing snowballs at each other. Like what? I tell you, the original oil paint in this house, it's becoming a pain in the... In some parts, it was peeling because the oil was rejecting, and here it was something really weird. So we did some digging into this ceiling, and we found out that somebody had used silicone in it. Like, I'm not an expert, but that sounds a little off to me. So we sanded, repainted, nothing. Something was coming back. We primed, repainted, nothing. It was not sticking. So finally we had to dig pretty deep into the wall to remove all the bits of silicone and then finally close up the area properly before repriming it and repainting it for a third time. What a waste of time. Oh my god.
Well, now we enter to the juicy part. I first came across these panels in a store when I saw that they were selling them like in squares. I thought that for the studio would be a good idea because not only it can work a little bit as a diffuser. I have these panels in here and they are diffusers, they are much better made, but these ones, they are maybe not so deep, but they still break the sound a little bit more even. And then they also have this cloth that is, let's say, 1.5 centimeters thick, and you add this between the wall and then this, and then you have the panel, so it's a little bit of extra isolation from the outside, which is exactly what I need. I don't create that much noise to need to be isolated from the inside out, but I do mind having too many noises coming from outside because then they bother a lot in the recordings. So much better than to leave just the wall as it is, to give an extra padding, an extra isolation material, an extra treatment. You see, a little bit extra thing. Plus it's beautiful, come on.
Creativity with a light, more lights, and the laser. Look at that!
These panels can come in combination with some LED strips, so it not only will work as acoustic treatment, but also as an accent wall with some beautiful background lighting that I think for the videos just looks really, really sweet. Hold on a little bit to see the final result.
I actually thought to make this would be fast, like just cut, glue. No way, it took almost an entire day, that wall only.
So there was this funny thing that I bought a couple of ceiling lamps for the kitchen and they were both defect. We got a disco in the house, so I bought them again and defect again. Finally, I went with Philips smart lights, so they would make my way easier into controlling the light remotely, and I love the choice. And there was a day that we were so close to finish the studio. The plan was to finish it in the afternoon. So we were just closing off the switches and we go to eat something really quick. We come back, there is no electricity in the studio, nothing, nowhere to be found. We had to open the brand new flooring because there was an electric box on the floor to check if what was going on with it. And finally it was a very, very silly thing. And we did solve it. It just took us like an hour and a half of digging into nothing. But I think that's because we were just super exhausted from too many days, too many weeks of working non-stop for much too many hours. Anyways, one thing that I'm happy I learned was to finish off the heads of the Ethernet because it's something I'm sure I will use in the future. And sometime in the middle of all this madness of problems of painting, I got one delivery of IKEA with the cabinets of my server room. So I started as soon as I could to put them together for what will be my server/storage room. This is going to be the handiest room for me because I no longer need to keep my studio cluttered with recording stuff and I can have everything nicely and neatly organized somewhere else. And of course, Ragnar had to taste every single box of this delivery on my bed. Thank you.
I really hope you are enjoying these videos. Drop a like, or more, just like drop coffees. Please just drop coffees here in the comment box. If you can to my place, that would be way better because I need lots of them to get to the finish line. Thank you for the support. I wish you all a beautiful day and I'll see you in the final video.